Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The day Earth disconnected. For millennia, Earth had been a quiet, thriving node in the sprawling web of the galactic civilization, connected wirelessly to the vast galactic neural network, the GalNet. The GalNet was humanity's lifeblood, a shimmering matrix of data streams, information flows, cultural repositories, and communications that transcended light years. It tethered Earth to countless sentient worlds, civilizations, and epochs of knowledge. Every sunrise, people woke not just to the sun but to entire galaxies whispering their secrets through the GalNet's omnipresent hum. That was the old Earth, the one that remembered the stars. Then came the disconnection. The day began like any other in New Chicago, with dawn's golden light piercing the glass towers, illuminating the restless buzz of the city. People stirred in their apartments and domes, logging into daily streams, chatting with friends on distant worlds, learning new skills transmitted from other planets. Children played with interactive holograms powered by GalNet nodes miles below the surface. Scientists accessed real-time research from Terra Nova 5 sectors over. The day promised to be ordinary. Until the screens blinked off. It was instantaneous. One moment, the galactic connection streamed into every device, every implant, every augmented sensory interface across the globe, and the next, everything went dark. For the first time since humanity's emergence, the GalNet signal evaporated completely without any warning. Panic rippled through the digital layers. Data centers tried to ping nearby nodes. Satellites scrambled to find a relay. But the signal was gone like a ghost. Entire continents lost access to the cosmic exchange, Earth's own antennae silent for the first time in history. Yet something stranger happened, something incomprehensible. People began to forget, not just the data transmitted, but the very memories of the GalNet, and eventually, the concept of the universe beyond Earth dissolved from their minds. It was as if the disconnection severed not just the communication but the neural pathways in humanity itself. Cells rewiring, memories erasing, the imagination shrinking. 5 days after the disconnection, a historian named Dr. Mara Singh sat on the steps of the ruined Galileo Library, the last great repository of the GalNet archives on Earth. Mara was one of the rare few whose brain implant was partially shielded from the disconnection wave, a quirk of hardware design that allowed her to remember fragments when others had no recollection. She clutched a physical book, a relic smothered beneath years of digital dependence, and stared out at the city. The skyline was eerily static, no longer alive with the electrified pulse of the GalNet. Universe does not exist, the people said. Old space images had become meaningless, alien stories of other worlds forgotten. Terra became the only reality, and Earth, the sole axis of existence. Mara understood the magnitude of this loss. Civilizations depended on shared cosmic memory, the knowledge of other species, of alien worlds, of starlit voyages, defining their identity and purpose. Now, Earth was trapped in a labyrinth of amnesia, condemned to a solipsistic existence with nothing beyond its skies to conceive. She tried to explain, gathered the dwindling number of scientists and philosophers at the library. But her warnings fell flat on minds that could not grasp what they once knew. How could they see a universe they no longer remembered? They only saw their cities, their soil, their immediate lives tightly wrapped around routine. 1 week into the blankness, Earth's orbital satellites detected a strange cosmic phenomenon. In the void of deep space beyond the Oort cloud, an immense sphere of light pulsed rhythmically, a beacon, unnatural and insistent. Mara and her team speculated this could be the origin of the GalNet's disruption. But with interstellar communication severed and starships grounded, Earth was alone to gaze at the beacon with no means to understand or respond. Mara spent nights connecting old comm arrays, piecing together whatever faint signals she could salvage, trying to hack the interference. She found traces of a quantum virus, an intelligent self-replicating code infiltrating and corrupting the Galnet's infrastructure. The virus seemed designed to erase memories and disrupt transmissions, collapsing the network's purpose. But who unleashed it, and why? Days turned into weeks, and Earth sank into a gray quiet. People adapted to a life without the Galnet's guidance. Schools stopped teaching about black holes or other galaxies, subjects deemed irrelevant. Folklore replaced astrophysics. The concept of spaceflight was considered mythical, an elaborated fiction from a forgotten era. The city lights dimmed, reflecting a collective dimming of cosmic consciousness. Mara refused to surrender. Her last hope hinged on reactivating a derelict probe hidden beneath the Arctic ice. Project Helios, a forgotten backup transmitter designed centuries earlier as a contingency to re-establish contact if the Galnet failed. It was slow and primitive by modern standards but was immune to quantum malware thanks to its analog systems. If she could power it up and relay a message, maybe, just maybe, Earth could signal the rest of the galaxy. She gathered a small team of faithful engineers and trekked to the Arctic wasteland. The probe lay buried beneath meters of ice, gleaming silver with decades of frost. As they powered it on, the hum of old machinery awakened feelings in Mara's mind, hints of memory surfacing that felt like echoes from a distant past she could barely grasp. The probe fingers reached out, through wavelengths, frequencies, and pulses, into the starless depths. Suddenly, the dam broke. A cascade of mental flashes overwhelmed Mara. Images flooded her mind, flashes of supernovae, alien cities glowing beneath binary stars, the laughter of children in Martian colonies, whispered poems by moons afar, ships weaving through stellar nurseries, and most painfully, the connections to countless souls now unreachable. She realized the virus was not merely a weapon, it was an instrument of isolation, designed to split a seed civilization from the cosmic family tree. Her team watched in awe as Mara's eyes brightened with strange light, a rekindling of the universal memory. She spoke excitedly, narrating stories once erased, igniting fires of hope. Word slowly spread. Children began to ask questions about stars. Their teachers resumed lessons about other planets. Cities erected telescopes again. The disconnection was not an erasure, just a veil that could be lifted. The universe was patient, and it was calling Earth home. Months passed. The probe kept broadcasting signals, tenuous at first but growing stronger as the Galnet stabilized beyond Earth's lost link. Then, from distant stars, a reply arrived, not in words but in waves of images and ideas, messages of solidarity, messages of welcome, messages of a cosmic embrace. Mara stood beneath the dark sky, gazing up at the quiet points of light. She knew the universe waited for Earth's awakening. That even severed from the Galnet, even enveloped in forgetfulness, the cosmos memory remained etched deep inside the synapses of existence. One day, Earth would rejoin the grand chorus of worlds and stories. But until then, Mara whispered to the stars a promise. To remember, to reconnect, to share, and never again let the darkness sever them from their place in the vast, infinite sky. For more stories, like and subscribe.